Hi, my name is Eviatar Ram. I'm a product manager for CMX. Welcome to part 2 of our tutorial about how to use CMX Analytics. In the first tutorial, we kind of created a report, which is what we're seeing here. And what we want to do in this one is to drill down into the data and show you how you can see different views of that data. So what we're seeing here is the summary view. I have a visitor count and I have average dwell time, but in a very summarized fashion. And all of this information is for San Jose Building 14 for this month. You see here on the widget, there's a button here on the top right. That's the edit button. I'm going to click on that. And this takes me to a screen where I can now edit the widget. So you can see we are in the summary view. If I click here, I can see that there are two other ways to look at the data. That's chart and table. So I'm going to click on chart. So I click on chart and I get this single data point. The reason that we're seeing a single data point is because by default, the system is showing me the data by campus, meaning I'm still looking at data for Cisco Building 14. It's still the data for this month. Question is, how do you want to break down that data? And if I click on this, I see all the different options. So I can do it by week. I can do it by day of the week, by day, by hour. And I'm going to start by hour. And we're going to go through a bunch of these. So by hour means that now my x-axis, you can see every data point represents an hour. So I have 9 to 10, 11 to 12, 12 to 1, etc. And I can see here on the bottom that if I use the scroll bar, I have data for the entire month, because that's what I chose. So starting from February 1st all the way to when we made this film on February 12th. And I can see how many devices I had every hour. You can see that the weekends are pretty empty because we are a corporate environment, and you can kind of see the daily dynamics of when are people coming, when are they leaving. You can almost make the lunch break here. You can see in the middle of the day, a lot of times there's less devices. So this is an interesting view, but then the next question is kind of like, well, I see the data by hour, but if I want to know when did I have more people on this Wednesday or this Wednesday here at the end of the month. In this view, it's a little bit difficult to see it. So what we're going to do is we're going to change to, instead of by hour, I want to see the data by day. Again, it's the same data, it's just aggregated a little bit differently. And now I'm seeing a single data point for every day. So it's a lot easier for me to compare. I can see this Monday I had 5,200 devices compared to last Monday where I had 4,900 devices. So I get that visibility. Another way to parse out the data would be, for example, I don't want to see it over time. I want to see the data by zone. So I have zones set up in my building. Again, I'm still looking at Cisco Building 14. I'm still looking at data for this month, but now I want to look at it by zone. So I clicked on that. Okay, so now I'm seeing the data by zone. So if I look at the x-axis, every one of these data points is a zone that I created. So I have the perimeter, I have the front of the building, cubicle area, the back of the building, etc. Using the scroll bar again, I could sort of zoom out and zoom in depending on how much information I want to see. Other things I can do here is, for example, right now we're seeing the values descending, but I can also do it ascending or alphabetical. Sometimes that is easier to find data that you're looking for. Finally, the last thing I want to show you on this screen is that we have another tab here where you can toggle between unique devices and absolute visits. The difference in that is this. Imagine that you are in a retail environment and I go to visit the same store, I go to the supermarket 4 times in a single month. And then we're showing the data for a month. And the question is, do you want to count me once, because I'm a single device or a single visitor? Or do you want to count me 4 times, because I was in that store 4 times? And that's exactly what this toggle does. Unique devices means I would only be counted once, because I am a unique visitor. If I want to count myself multiple times, depending on how many times I visited, I will do absolute visits. And you'll notice that the numbers are different. So once I edited my widget and I have the view that I like seeing the data by zone for absolute visits, and I like it alphabetical, I can go back to my report, and you can see that the data now appears this way. Finally, if I want to make this chart, for example, a little bit bigger and play around with the graphics, I can just drag it up down here, and I have my widget. I can do the same thing on this widget. I can go to the edit screen and change it to a visualization that I like. And that's how I create a report that is custom and represents exactly the data that I want to see. So once I have a report that I like, let's say I really like this report, and I want to send it out to a couple of my colleagues because I think this is really interesting information. So I go back to the left nav here, and I click on the report that I want to schedule. I'm going to click on the schedule button, which is this one. And you can see I get this little wizard. I'm going to choose who I want to send this report out to, so I'll just put their email addresses here. I can choose when do I want to start sending this report. So that could be right now, or I could say, you know what, just start sending it out next Monday. And I could choose if I just want to send one time, or maybe at a daily or a weekly cadence. So every day, every Monday, send out that report. So I'll do it weekly, and I'm going to cancel this. I'll send that report, and my colleagues will receive that report via email. So that was a little bit of a tutorial about how to use CMX Analytics. Thank you very much.